but the minority in Parliament says government's decision to seek IMF support to rescue the economy is refreshing but late. Minority spokesperson on finance, Dr. Kayse Latu-Forson, described government's handling of the economy as horrible, arguing they had no option but to seek the support of the fund. Parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante has more.
During the heated periods of the debate in Parliament before the approval of the controversial e-levy, government was clear: either pay e-levy or Ghana goes to the IMF.
Mr. Speaker, the e-levy is also going to help with the fiscal consolidation effort and reduce the debt levels of our country. And that also means that we are going to see an improved economic ratings and not returning to the International Monetary Fund.
Indeed, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta had been clear within that same period that the country was not going to seek IMF support. But despite all these, government has begun engagement with the International Monetary Fund for an economic program. Ranking member on the Finance Committee, Dr. Kayse Latu-Forson, says the move is welcoming but way behind schedule.
I saw it coming long ago. I know the government intended to evade what is obvious, but the reality is obviously it's clear that they had no other choice than to do an IMF program. Overall, I think it's refreshing, but the simplest thing is to authorize an IMF program. The most difficult one is getting a program. That unfortunately, as a result of the fact that the government decided to delay in taking such an important decision, it has cost the nation and it will cost us even more going forward.
He also described government's expectation that the e-levy was going to be an alternative to the IMF as short-sighted. Government's decision to seek an IMF support sent shockwaves through Parliament, especially on the back of Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta's insistence that government was not going to seek support from the fund. Parliament, you could see MPs passing their phones to each other on both the minority and majority sides, ostensibly to break the news to each other. In the coming days, this will generate a lot of discussions, and MPs will have a greater say in what kind of deal government gets from the IMF.
They were trying to create, by this candid decision by government, through a statement issued by the Minister of Information, it's as though they know nothing about IMF. You have been to the IMF, Mr. Speaker. You were not confronted by an international crisis. You went to IMF because of this management. Why are you now telling us that we are going to IMF? When you moved, Mr. Speaker, grant me the space. Mr. Speaker, when they were in government, there was no international crisis. You went to IMF.
The deputy leader may have aspiration to be leader, but not aspiration to be Minister for Finance and to be making formal announcement on behalf of the Minister for Finance on IMF. Ghana will not go to IMF, unquote, says Ken Ofori-Atta. What are you seeking to do? To formally announce to this house that there is now a school prophet in the IMF.
The minority now says government will not get their support to pass any loan agreements that are not project specific, in accordance with directive from former President John Mahama.
I have said that the problems we are in is the fact that we have an unsustainable debt. Any attempt for us to support the government to take another decision to add on additional commercial debt without showing clear signs of building buffers to repay, it means we are participating in the destruction of the economy. His Excellency John Mahama was right. And I commend him for such a bold decision. And for me, it's a three-line whip on us to make sure we do not participate in the destruction of the Ghanaian economy.